Hey, what you gotta know, what you gotta be. It's me on the wheel, I'm about to get real. Yeah, 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 yeah. Me on the wheel, I'm about to get real, about to get real. Oh, me on the wheel. All right. Green on. Hello everybody, it's me once again with another Pottery Demon video. I got 3 more pots coming at you guys today. I'm gonna get over there, I'm gonna get right into it, and I'll see you guys in a second. Green off. Camera turned off. Wedding table. This clay is pretty soft. Quick wedge. Alright, I'm gonna get some more water in my water bucket, and we're gonna get right into it here. Some water out of there. I'm gonna start off with the one that's the softest, so we can get that one over with first. Okay. How much clay do I use for one? I split a 25-pound bag of clay into 6 parts, right? And so it's around 4 to 5 pounds, right? In that area, right? Because I'm not cutting them equally every time. Like this one's a little bit less. This one feels probably in the 3 something area, right? And so that's kind of my jam here is I don't really like to weigh it out. I just kind of cut it and get 6 out of a bag, right? That seems like it's pretty efficient for me. All right, wheel. Wheel. Why is that not turning? There we go. I think once you get into the 5-pound range, you kind of have to switch the way that you're throwing. Same with like when you're working with a little bit under, was it like a little bit under a pound? Once you start getting that 1/2 pound range, I feel like it becomes increasingly hard to throw actually. And so I think there's kind of like a happy medium range. And then when you're throwing large, you know, sometimes you have to start using your forearms and stuff, but I really don't like to do that. Okay, opened. Push that right to that edge there, great. Hand coming up. I feel like I can turn this up a little bit. With this outside, we're gonna do a collar here. Camera B. Okay. Water on my wrist here. And then this pole that I'm doing here, it's not much of a height pole. It's more of a compression pole just to even out those lines. Because we got the height from the actual collar itself. So we just want to make sure we realign everything. Skinny pot. This one, well, it's a little bit less, right? And so I just want to make sure, less amount of clay, I mean. And so I just want to make sure that there's less, or I can get it taller, so I'll go a little bit skinnier, right? 1, 2, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Right down the middle. Push this right in on the bottom. Pull this out ever so slightly. I wonder if I'm getting audio overlap. Let me know if the audio sounds really wacky, if anybody's watching. I'm like worried that if I'm gonna get like an echo. All the addicts so wacky, bro. Does that awesome? Thank you so much. I appreciate it. All right, so here we go. Maybe we'll do a double tandra on this one. Sounds good? Sweet. Okay. Okay, double tandra. Let the hand, audio seems fine. Great. That over, curl it up, just like that. Look at that. Do I have any finished products? Camera A. Camera A. Pottery shelf. Pottery shelf. So if you look in the back on the carts, I have a bunch of finished stuff on there. So. But I haven't finished a single one of the trees. I haven't even fired a single one of these trees, you know? So I haven't done any of I haven't got to fire them yet. But I've fired a bunch of other stuff. I make all sorts of things, you know? A lot of wacky things. This is getting a little bit loud now. But I'm gonna wait for a little bit before I fire them. I think it's kind of like people get blinded by the finished result of an object, right? Like people will spend a lot of time, you know, looking forward to the glazing and holding a finished object. I don't mind keeping them just total greenware for, you know, I'm almost at like a year. I have filled my whole apartment with them too. And so I don't mind just waiting for a really long time. I don't even know where I'd fire them yet either, so. Okay, push this down. Okay. Alright, right down to the bottom. Comb that up. Nice. Right down to the bottom again. Comb that up. Alright. We got one more to cone up here. Camera B. Nice. Tips on how to do the llama pole. Yeah, I can talk about the llama pole in a second. I'm about to get there, so give me a moment, and I got you, okay? Fist is coming down right over top. Alright. Open up this middle. Alright, now I'm pulling this down. So I'm opening that pot up right now. I want to make sure the bottom's pretty smooth too, because I don't want to be trimming these pots, so I want to leave that bottom relatively, you know, thin on that bottom edge there, right? Great. Okay. So llama pole, right? You got your little happy llama here. Llama's gonna bite right on this rim here, right? And so it's really only these two fingers and the thumb that are right on that rim, right? These other fingers, when they come down like that, they're just being supporting characters. They're not doing anything, okay? And so your goal here, in the same way like when we're coning up the clay, right? It's that push with this hand forward and that pull with this hand back, right? And it's that both that two lanes of traffic coming across each other where that middle stays on center. In that same way, we're trying to make that volcano shape, right? And so this hand, once you bite on this rim, and you can see there's a little bit of an undercut here and a little bit of undercut here, right? And so those two undercuts, as soon as I have that, I want to make sure I'm not like really squeezing. I'm just almost like my fingers are taped to that surface. And when I bring that up towards me, that undercut is going to just allow it to, there's nowhere else for that clay to go than to go upwards, right? And so then this hand, that's all that this hand's doing, is almost like a bird of prey swooping like maybe down, right, and then back up into the air. And so those are kind of my what my body's doing. And so you can see I have that little bump, right? You can see these fingers are just right underneath there, and I'm just slowly bringing them back and across each other, right? And just like that, you know, you got your little volcano. So I hope that kind of helps. You don't need to go fast, right? I'm not really pushing very hard. You know, you'd be surprised on what you can do if you just allow the wheel to move for you, okay? Knuckle right underneath this bottom edge. Define that little bump. And I'm bringing that up. All right. Again, gonna get some more of that water right to that bottom edge. Color that up. Nice. Right to the bottom edge again. You know, we have a little bit more clay. We might leave a little bit. No, we're gonna grab our knuckle again, right to that bottom edge. Define that little bump there. And then bring that up one more time, okay? Nice. Alrighty, a bit more water on that top edge. Color that in, just a tad, right? And we're gonna get set up for just a height pull here. So here we go, right to the bottom. And there will be some off-center clay right at that bottom. So all I'm doing is taking that clay, I have my finger on the inside and my finger on the outside. I don't want my fingers to be bumping around. If my fingers are bumping around, I'm not gonna have a good pull, right? And so I'm making sure that my fingers aren't being bumped around. So very slowly on that base, getting that little bump, thanking the clay. And then I'm just taking that little bump up. It's just a lift, it's not a pull, it's a lift, right? Pull has yanking motions to it. A lift, it's like I'm lifting a baby bird up into the sky, right? Getting a little bit thin on that middle part, so I want to make sure I don't add too much tension on that top. And there you go. Alright, again, I'm going to get some more water right out of that base. Alright, nice. Okay, here we go. Dun, 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 dun. So you can see it's kind of twisting itself up. Okay, we have enough of that there. Get ready to have our hands ready to pull outward. I'll wrap my pinkies in on this one. I'm slowly pulling that outward. Very slowly. Kiss that rim just a tad. And there you go, look at that twist. So when you walk the twist up, you can see how this twist is a lot tighter, right? Whoa. Hold on, y'all, I gotta set a sponge underneath this edge here, so it's gonna fall. kind of like that. Okay. I gotta keep that. You guys didn't see what's going on over there, but you'll see in a second. So one of the pots is like getting ready to fall over. And so sometimes if I kind of like the look of how it looks like, almost like if it was frozen in as it was collapsing, right? I'll set a sponge there and I'll let it get hard and I'll just remove the sponge afterwards, right? Right down to the bottom edge here. Nice. Okay. Pinky right underneath. Pulling this up ever so slightly. Gonna find a group pseudo find your trees. No. I work at a couple places and I already got some no's on bringing all my pots. You know, I'm gonna have almost 1,000 trees when I start to go fire these. It's just too much. It's just a lot of space, right? Like when I'm telling you, I got rid of my dining room and living room space. I'm not kidding. It's kind of a crazy little system I got. And so when I asked about it, a lot of people just said it's probably would stop their own systems, right? And just for me, and so even though I work there, I think I got to be considerate of other people's work, right? That are paying to be there instead of me getting paid to be there, right? Here we go, curling this up. Curl that in, curl it in. We get a curl in here, we get a curl there, done. So that's number 2. Camera A. So it's number 2 there. Let me get ready for number 3. I'm heading out to check on my hanging bats. Have a good throw. Hey, good luck with the hanging bats, yo. I still think that's like one of the coolest things. I've thought about doing something similar with the trees when they collapse, is just hang them upside down, but I haven't got the system set up for it. But let me know how it goes. Maybe tomorrow or something when I'm streaming, you can let me know, okay? Good luck. You talk about spinning the wheels in reverse when you do the exaggerated pulls. Yeah, I've done that a couple times. I just, the only time I really go in reverse now is when I'm trying to do a really long tendril all the way around, right, with my wire tool. And then I'll put it in reverse to undo that, right? Instead of having to like walk my wire all the way around. But when I've tried to do the spinning the wheel in reverse, when I do the exaggerated pulls, right? Like the, I just call them the veins of the tree, right? I'm just not a left-handed thrower. Even though I'm left-handed, I'm not a left-handed thrower. So I'd have to get pretty good at that. And I think I could really discover some cool forms, but I don't know how much it would change the form, or if it would even be noticeable. I think I would have to have 2 different sections of where movement is taking it in a different area, right? For it to be visible that something happened, right? I don't know how much it really changes the form. Other than just being in reverse, I don't think a lot of people other than pottery people would really notice that, right? Right down to the bottom, I have this weird little air pocket in that middle part there, so I'm gonna go right back down here. Bring that up. Okay, a little bit of water down to the bottom. Bring that up. Camera B. camera A. Camera A. Wheel. I think I gotta have a wheel zoom so you can really see what the inside of my hands are doing, but we'll do that one day. Do you use recycled clay or a specific kind of clay? Yeah, I use stoneware. I always think, for what I'm doing, I really gotta have, I even let my clay sit out and get hard, right? I can't be using soft clay. I've learned that for me, I think I'm putting way too much tension on the clay where it needs some of that supporting grog in that clay body. I need to have the clay a little bit harder to get the forms that I want, right? I almost like to feel like I'm not throwing, I'm carving. I'm the opposite. A lot of people love really soft, like cream cheese like porcelain. I like really hard, gritty stoneware that has a lot of iron in it. So it almost looks, my clay will look a little bit darker too than a lot of people's clay, but it's like a red-brown clay. When you get to high temperatures, it really almost turns like a really dark brown, almost black. It's beautiful. But again, it's not much of like the type of clay, it's just how it feels, right? Like I don't think I'm looking for a specific clay. I'll just grab like a couple different kinds of clay from a place and just test it out, you know, and see which one I think feels and matches the forms I'm going to be making more, right? I think, you know, you only get to test things out by making it and burning through the clay. So if you feel, sometimes, you know, a lot of potters will say, it's not the clay, it's the potter, you know? Yeah, I feel like that's it's debatable, okay? like for me, I think it's really more about what the clay can allow you to do, right? And I would be surprised on what, if somebody says that if you grab some hard clay and some soft clay and you wanted to get a really tall pot, I would say a lot of potters aren't going to go for the really soft stuff when they're trying to make a taller vessel, you know? But finally, a YouTube live stream with actual good content. Keep it up, brother. Everything else on here is garbage. That's so fun. I really appreciate that. That's very kind of you. And then somebody said, def debatable. Yeah, you know, I mean, I'm definitely not like the best potter by far, right? But I really like to have a lot of tension on my pots, especially when I get up to the top rim. And so if it just is flowy and floppy, right, it's not going to be a good day for me, right? But if it's stiff and I can like battle with it, you know, that's really where I like to be with the clay, right? I would like to almost like feel like I can like touch and move the clay without my fingerprints like jamming into it, right? A lot of the pots, after they're all done, I could probably lift them right off the wheel and not disturb the form too much, you know? But I don't want to run a wire because I'm so thin on the bottoms to get a lot of that clay up into the vessel. So I'm pretty careful with that stuff, but all right, here we are right at the bottom edge. Grab that little bump. To the top edge, nice. Okay, we probably got one more pole. A little water around this side. Also, I throw with a ton of water, so I like to throw relatively stiff because once I get to this height, right? I feel like I need stiffer clay to get to this height that I want to get. But by the time I'm at this stage, I've also added so much water to the clay that I can kind of think, what is it called? It's soft enough for me to make all the tendrils. Dang, I kind of want to get into making posts. How much is the setup that, how much it's set up, like you are also very informative, that's dope. Yeah, man, I'll tell you, your name's Trenton, okay? Trenton, I think the thing that you gotta, like if you want to get a setup, you just gotta go for it. Oh, you want to get into, wait, I'm not, you want to make pots like me or you want to make posts like me? If you're trying to make posts like me, getting a setup like this, it takes a little bit because, you know, I wasn't always live streaming. Earlier in the year, you know, I was just, oh, it's getting a little bit thin. I got to be careful. I got to go slow down a little bit. Chill, bro, chill. Because like the videos I was making at the beginning of the year, very, very different. The pottery, making pottery like me. Okay, I won't talk about the my setup here, but yeah, I don't know. I think for me, I don't want to be making pots that people have made for thousands of years. I'd rather spend my life trying to find my own path than follow a path that's already been kind of, you know, put out there, right? Especially with being in the digital era now, right? Like, I want to tap into that sort of world and that sort of connectivity that people have, you know? I can spell, I promise. Well, I can't spell, so you're all good. I feel like there's some words that I can't even figure out how to spell properly. Okay, 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1. Look at that, just collapsing. Okay. And it's pretty thin, so it might really want to collapse. So we're gonna go pretty wide and see. Oh, we got a rip. Let that fall just like that. I think we'll keep this one. We got to do something funky with the tendrils though. I think the buffer can still, this little buffer thing adds enough tension where I think that's acceptable on the top. I just need to do something really funky with these tendrils on the bottom, kind of playing with that rim so we can bring some more intention back into it so it just doesn't look like a train wreck. And so a lot of, like, I think people right now, they would get rid of this. You know, a lot of people would get rid of it. But what I've started to learn is that if you just keep, like, obviously, like, on that top rim, after it collapses, you don't really want to touch it too much, right? Like, I'm not touching this top at all anymore. I'm letting it just kind of rip and then settle. I don't want to see my hands, fingers, or indentations on that clay there, right? I want it to just exist as the rip, right? Not a forced thing, okay? And then what I've also realized is that once you see, you know, maybe you failed 10 times, well, I guarantee you one of those 10 failures is going to stand out a little bit to you, right? And so for me, it's like, why are those things standing out? And you can only really start to analyze why it's standing out when you have a bunch of them. And so it's all about context, right? And so here we go. We're gonna cut this rim here, went right on this top edge here. Okay, go right around this edge there. Okay, have another one. All right, so watch this. I'm gonna take this edge and we're gonna have this crawling up the side, and then we're gonna have it pulling this down right on this edge here. Oh, it might even tear there. Okay, so this is gonna fall, so you're gonna see this thing fall and rip right here, and so that's gonna fall down. So maybe it'll look cool. I gotta get this other tendril up before that totally rips off there. Maybe I can do something interesting with this one, kind of up here. Kind of like almost like it's holding its head up or something, right? I like doing the double tendril because they start feeling more like, what's the word? Arms. Kind of be like the anti-potter, you know? Like I always think like I want to try to break through and get away from pottery, even though I'm on the wheel, right? Kind of cool, right? Like I like the way that the tendrils are interacting with this one, so we'll see, right? Every once in a while you get some funky ones. I think this is a good set today. A lot more variation than the ones yesterday. Yesterday the ones were a little bit more mundane, and so today it's going to be kind of nice to have ones that are a little bit more wacky. So you're gonna see the sponge is kind of on this side here. Let's see how that looks. Do we like that? So you can kind of see the sponge holding that up as it's tilting. And so we're kind of pausing that collapse there, right? All right. And then we got the one in the back here. This is probably the most basic one of the day. Tilt that a little bit to the side. Have that just chill out right on top here. Let's see. Yeah, we can see all of them. Sweet. How far is that off that ledge? I think I gotta put this a little bit over. That looks fine. All right, y'all, I'm gonna get over there. I like the idea of making unique pieces. Yeah, you know, all right. Oh, wow, you can kind of see it from the top. Yeah, okay, so I gotta get the front one's a little bit out of focus. So I gotta, is that better? Yeah, it's a little bit better. All right, so I'm gonna do my little pottery review here. All right, pottery shelf. All right, green on. Hello everybody, we're back again with another pottery review. We're gonna start off with this one over here first. So I think some things I like about this one, even though that top got a little bit too thin and ripped, right? I thought there was a really good height, so the process of that one was probably the most fun. Then as that ripped and fell, I think there's something that's cool that's happening is revealing that interior, where a lot of them kind of keep that interior contained as the interior of the vessel. Around that rim, you have to look inside the rim. So something's interesting happening when that rim breaks open, and it's sort of that spiral is reaching out into space, you know? So I think that one's kind of interesting. I also like the tendrils kind of messing with that rim as well, maybe lifting it up or pulling it down, something in between. And then I guess we'll go over to this one right here. So this one right here, I really like the way that this one's kind of like, you know, Michael Jackson lean right on that side. And I like the way that it sort of almost tapered in or tucked in on that top edge. And so I think as soon as that one dries enough to remove that sponge, I think that one's gonna look really nice. And then obviously we got the one, I guess, all the way up over there. That one's a little bit more mundane, nothing too crazy happening with it. I think that the spiral is very nice. It kind of goes in, has more of that hourglass figure, a little bit more wider on the base, in towards the waist of the pot or the trunk of the pot, and back out again on the treetops. But hey, thank you again so much for watching. All the best, and strong mentality. Do you use propane flame to harden your pieces faster? No, I thought about it, but then I also thought, like, I kind of like the only two disruptions is being me versus the wheel, you know? I'm not trying to like add like another element to fire, right? I even think adding the sponge is kind of the limit that I would go. Somebody said the one on the left is the best. This one, okay. Wait, is that left? Oh no, I guess that's the front one. Yeah, I think the front one's pretty nice too. I think it is probably my favorite of the day. I kind of like that spiral. The other side of it's nice. Yeah, I like the top one though. Interesting. Yeah, the top one, I think there's something, there needs to be some uniformity in some of the pots, right? I mean, I can't tell you how many times people be roasting me on my YouTube chat, on my shorts. Be like, this is ugly, or this is disgrace to pottery, like all this stuff, but I don't really mind. It's like really whatever. But I think you do need to have you need to make it at least believable, right? If somebody sat with all of my pots, I guarantee you, even the hardest critiquer of my pots would find one that they think is interesting, you know? And so you gotta have that variation. But all right, y'all, I'm heading out. Peace.